Welcome to Well Balanced Kids' latest video. Today we're going to be looking at birds, all creatures with wings flying through the sky. Wouldn't it be amazing to fly through the sky anytime you wanted? Much better than being in traffic jams, eh? What's your favourite bird? I think mine might be a parrot. I do love their beautiful colours, and it's great if they speak back to you. Do you have a favourite bird? Is it something that you can see out of your window? Or is it something more exotic that lives far, far away? So today we're going to do birds. But first, before we can fly in our imaginations, we have to do our warm-up. Make sure that our limbs are limber and make sure that we're nice and warm so we don't do any damage to ourselves. So make sure you've got enough room around you and that you aren't going to trip over anything. And if you've got a mat, then great. If you haven't got a mat, don't worry. Just do what you can. Okay, are you ready? Let's get going then. So let's roll our shoulders back and get those shoulders really flexible. Maybe roll the whole arms back because you're going to be using these arms a lot today, because these arms are going to be your wings. And then make sure your feet are sort of hip width apart. You can check that by putting your fists together and making sure they're at least 2 fists apart. So we've got our feet nice and firmly on the ground, as if we were maybe a stork or a flamingo. Our feet are stuck in the mud. And we've got a nice straight spine and our shoulders are nice and relaxed. And then we reach up the sky as if we are a bird waking up and stretching as far as you can. Can you reach that sky? And then let your shoulders just sink down so that your neck has a bit of space and isn't all crunched up. And then put your hands on your knees and flatten your back, looking as if you're looking in the mud for some worms. You're that bird looking for its dinner. Ooh, see what? Just there. And I'm reaching down to get my worms and put one foot back, stretching out those legs, giving those muscles a good old stretch and trying to drop your hip down as low as it can go. And both hands on the floor. And let's go into plank pose. Such a good pose for building up our strength. And we can imagine that we're a branch or a twig that the birds are going to rest on. And down we bring our heads and our bottoms to our feet and curl up like a rock or maybe an egg. What baby bird are you inside that egg? Bring that nose along the mat and look up like a little bird coming out of its egg. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Looking up, looking around, seeing what it can see. Then curl your toes under, push up from your hands and push back. Trying to make your back as straight as possible, getting your heels as close as you can to the floor, sticking that bottom in the air. Give it a little waggle maybe, like a little waggling tail of a bird. And then left foot forward to stretch on the other side. Sink down, sink as if you're sinking into the mud in the swamp where we're going today to find our birds. And then feet together, flatten that back. And up, those wings to the sky, high, high, high. And bring them together into prayer pose. With that, did you enjoy it? Let's do it one more time, this time a little bit faster, as we pretend to be the birds exploring in the swamp. Are you ready? Off we go now. Hands up high, stretching to the sky, shoulders back and relax. Hands on your knees, flatten your back, looking out for the little worms in the mud. Hands down to the floor, left foot back, drop the hip to give yourself a good old stretch. Then other foot back, turn into that plank or that branch or that twig that bird is sitting on. Down into your egg, curled up tight. Maybe you want to bring your hands back to your feet, as if you're a little bird inside your egg. And then slowly you come out of your egg and peek through the shell to see what's out there. And then push back from your hands and bring those heels as close as you can to the floor as you, as a little baby bird, stretch and wriggle out of that egg. Then lift, look forward, sinking those hips down and bring your feet together, flatten your back, hands to the sky, and back into bear pose. Well done. So we're going to start off with a big soaring bird that's flying through the air. Maybe like these ones here. These look like pelicans, I think. Aren't their wings enormous? You don't really see pelicans in the UK, but we do see other birds with really big wings. I wonder which birds you might have seen with big wings. So our arms are our wings, and this is a pose that takes a bit of balance. So we're going to use our arms to create that balance. And you might be able to go a little bit or all the way, and that's okay. It doesn't matter if you can only do it at 5%. It's not a competition. If you go too far and you lose your balance, you'll fall over. I don't want you to hurt yourself, okay? So imagine that you're in that swamp and one foot's got stuck in the mud. So can't pull this foot out. Oh, just about. Did you hear that squelch? So stick it deep in the mud so it's really nice and firm. And then bring your arms out until they're shoulder height. And then once they're shoulder height, lean forwards as if you're looking forward into the mud. Maybe you've seen a nice juicy worm that you want to take. And lean forward as much as you can. Now, you might be able to go right down. Don't go further down than horizontal. Don't go down so that your head is on the floor. Or you might just feel comfortable just going so far. And that's okay too. Just do what's best for you. It's all about doing what feels comfortable for you. So let's do the other side, because in yoga we always have to do both sides, don't we? So that we keep our muscles equally balanced and we haven't got big muscles on one side and hardly any on the other side. That would look a bit strange. So get that foot stuck into the mud, squelchy, squelchy, in there. Maybe spread out your toes. Have you ever had mud oozing between your toes? It's a great feeling. Then put your arms out at shoulder height and down you go. So you might just be able to go this far down. You might even have to leave the back foot on the floor, and that's okay. Or you might want to try and bring up your leg and try and create a nice T shape. And then down you come, slowly with control. It's really easy when you're doing those kind of positions to try and go too far and too fast and fall over. That can hurt. And it's also about learning to control your body and do things really slowly, because the more slowly you do it, the more control over your body you have. So we've done our soaring birds going to the sky. And now we're going to do another exotic bird, a bird that also likes to hang out in the swamps, and that is the flamingo. So this is another balancing pose. So let's get that foot in that muddy swamp again. And then we pick up one foot and bring it to our bottoms. And then we use the other hand to lift up and keep ourselves balanced. Can you do that? Now, try and keep those knees together, not like so, otherwise you might get all off balance. Try and keep them together like that. And how long can you stay there? Can you be like a flamingo with one foot in the swamp for a really long time? I wonder how they do it. They must have really, really good balance, mustn't they? Let's see, can you count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Did you manage to stay up there all that time? Well done if you did. That's really, really good balancing. Okay, let's do the other side. So get that foot in the mud, spread out those toes so that it's really, really stable. Then bring the other foot up, close to your knees together and your foot next to your bottom. And then the other hand goes up. And you need to do it the same as the other side if you can. So how long did you do it last time? Can you do it for the same length of time this time? Let's see. Let's count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Great flamingos. Shake out your legs because they might be a bit stiff from all that balancing that we've just been doing. All right, to ease them up a bit. We'll get to another standing pose now, the last one. And this time we're going to be whatever bird you want to be. So maybe you'll be a pelican like this behind me. Haven't they got amazing beaks? And when they eat lots of fish, they've got a big sort of sack underneath their beaks that they can hold all their food in. That'd be handy, wouldn't it? So let's go into warrior 2 position. So one foot forward, the other foot slightly turned in at the back. You can check that your feet are in the right position by drawing a line from the back of your heel. It should hit the center of your back foot. And then just bend your knee slightly so that it's over your ankle, not too far forward, not too far back, but just over the ankle there. And then bring your arms up so they're shoulder height. And can you see, they kind of look like wings like this, a bit like the picture of the pelican down here. So maybe you could soar like a bird through the air, going back down here, back round the other way. Can you do that? So do it slowly so that you don't pull anything. And let's be a bird soaring through the air, soaring down and then soaring the other way, soaring down and soaring the other way. Oh, can you feel that stretch? I can feel it all down the muscles on the inside of my leg. How do the birds feel when they're stretching? So let's turn around. Do the same position on the other side, this back foot slightly pointing inwards and your knee slightly bent over your ankles. Again, bring up your arms to shoulder height and then let's soar through the air one way and soar through the air the other way. Soar down this way and soar down that way. And when you're stretching, try not to lean forward. Try and imagine that you have a wall in front of you and you're just going along that wall so you're nice and straight. And you might be able to get right down to the floor, or you might just be able to get here, and that's okay too. It's not a competition. It's just what feels good for you. So how's your body feeling right now? Is it feeling achy? Does it feel like it's being stretched? Does it feel tired? Really, really important in yoga to listen to how your body's feeling and not push it too far. Okay, up we come. So we've done some really good standing poses. And now you'll be glad to hear we're going to be doing some sitting poses. But what we're going to do next is a shoulder stand. We're not calling it a shoulder stand because we're doing birds. So we're going to be a goose flapping its wings. So let's lean down, get yourself nice and comfortable on the floor. And you might want to have a look at this before you do it. So you can always pause the video if you need to. So you have a choice. You can either just lie here and bring your legs up like so. Or you can lie and bring your legs over your head. And it's really important when you're doing this that you look straight up, that you don't keep twisting your head to look at the screen, which is why it's best to watch this first and then do it. And it's also important to keep your hands on the base of your back, supporting your back. You don't want to hurt the base of your back. And then if you feel confident enough, you can bring your head directly, bring your legs rather directly above you. And once they're above you, you can open and close them as if they're wings being flapped in flight. So I'm imagining that we are goose or geese flying through the air, just waving our wings. And I'm going quite slowly because by going slowly, it takes us more effort and more control, and therefore it's better for our bodies. So see whether you can slowly flap your wings, and maybe you might need a little break and you might want to just stretch your legs out like so, or curl them above your head. Give yourself a little break for a minute before raising them again and giving them one more flap as you flap. Maybe you want to flap them the other way, like so. Can you do that like a sort of scissoring motion? Can you do it without falling over? Have a go. And if it gets too much or it's too hard, just keep them straight up or over your head or just straight up in the air where you can do it like so. Okay, just do whatever works for you. And let's see all those geese flapping their wings. Have you ever seen a group of geese flying overnight, over sky at night, which they often do in the evenings or at dusk, a whole group of them? Very beautiful. So we're going to do another position now, and it's called the eagle. And you can do it standing up, and it's a bit complicated standing up. So we're going to do it lying down. And it's a real twisting pose. It really twists us all up so that when we untwist, it relaxes our muscles. So it's really good for relaxation. So let's lie back down on the floor. And I want you to start by crossing over your arms. So put one arm over the other. I'm going to do this way. And bring your hands together if you can. And see whether you can get your elbows up by your chin. Can you see how I've twisted my arms? Can you see if I turn like that? Twist them over. And then just have a think moment about which arm is underneath. For me, it's my left arm is underneath. So I'm going to take the opposite leg, which is my right leg, and put it over the left leg. And if this is comfortable for you, you could just stay here. But if you fancy a bit more of a challenge, you can raise those legs. So you've got your right arm twisted over your left and your left leg twisted over your right, or the other way around, whichever is the opposite for where you're at. And this is eagle pose. Can you feel how twisted you are? And then untwist yourself. Oh, I feel very twisted up. So let's try doing the other one, the other side. So this time I'm going to have the right underneath rather than the left, and I'm going to have the left leg on top. and underneath, and so. And keep it held up if you can, but if that's too strong for you, just have the foot on the floor. Really twisted. Don't know why they call it eagle pose, because I'm not sure that I've ever seen an eagle quite so twisted as that. But it's good fun. It's even more fun when you try and do it standing up, but we'll leave that for another time. Okay, so next we're going to do a really nice resting pose called resting dove. So doves, you might have seen them, grey, white, and they curl up. We put one hand on one shoulder and the other hand on the other shoulder, like we're giving ourselves a nice big hug, and our feet are flat on the floor. We try and just get ourselves as comfortable as possible on the floor and just let your body relax into the floor. Imagine that you're a little dove that's gone to sleep on maybe a ledge of a roof or underneath somewhere that's hidden away in a tower, maybe, or maybe in a dove house. Sometimes you get little wooden houses made especially for doves where they go and sleep. And just relax and feel your back sinking into the floor. Feel yourself giving yourself a lovely, lovely, nice, warm hug. And then go the other way, so that whichever hand was on top, you put on the other side and give yourself a hug in the other way. Oh, it's nice to be given a hug. See, you don't always need other people to give you a hug. You can give yourself a hug. How nice is that? And give yourself a rest too. And finally, we're going to turn around and we're going to become that egg again. That egg where all birds begin, don't they, in an egg? So have a little think. What egg are you going to be? What bird are you going to be? You can either have your knees close together or you can spread them wide apart, whichever feels comfortable for you. And when you go down, you can either have your head on the floor, or if that's too strong a stretch, you can put your arms like this on the floor and put your head on your arms. What's important is that you feel comfortable in this pose, because it's really stretching you out. I don't want any of this yoga to give you any pain. So bring your head down, either onto your arms or onto the floor. Bring your hands to your feet and just imagine being a little bird in an egg. What kind of egg, what kind of bird would you be? Perhaps you're not even a real bird, perhaps you're an imaginary bird with multicolored colours and spotted feathers. Maybe your egg is rainbow coloured or silver sparkly. Doesn't even have to be a real egg. Really, as you're there curled up, imagine you're sinking into the ground and you're lovely and warm in your lovely little nest. And perhaps you've got a mother bird or a father bird sitting on you, keeping you all warm and cozy, relaxing you into the ground or the nest that you're in that's all warm and feathery. And then the mother or the father bird gets up and you can feel yourself wanting to get out of your egg. And so super slowly, just come up little bit by little bit, as if you are a little bird coming out of your egg, little bit by little bit. And put your hands on the floor and bring yourself up really slowly, as if you're growing slowly out and stretching all your muscles and your wings for the first time and seeing life for the first time. Oh, that's nice. Did you like being a bird? I liked being a bird. I'd love to fly around the skies. I think that would be amazing. So, I hope you liked our bird yoga. Now we're going to do a little mindful activity, focusing in on our bodies and how they feel. So we're going to do a sort of Mexican wave with our arms. Pretend that our arms are our wings. Do you think you can do that? So we're going to start off a little movement on this side and just watch it as it goes through that arm and then maybe over our heads and out through the other side. And we do it the other way round. Really, really notice the movement and how it makes your arms and head feel as it ripples over us. So a little wave on the elbows, on the shoulders, over the head, then the other shoulder and the other elbow and the other arm. Did that feel funny as it went over, rolled over your arms and over your head? Let's give it one more go. Starting on this side. Here it comes, here it comes. And onto the other. And let's go back the other way. Starting as a little wriggle of your fingers into your elbows, into your shoulders, over your head, shoulders, wrists, and arms. Oh, that was a bit of a workout for my arms. Hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to do a breathing exercise that I'm going to call pigeon breath. And the reason I'm calling it pigeon breath is we're going to take a deep breath in, but then we're going to coo out our out breath, and we're going to make our mouths a little ooh sound as we breathe out. And I really want you to try and breathe out for longer than you breathe in. So you want to see if you can do that. So take a big deep breath in and ooh, ooh, out. You can make a funny noise like I did, or you can try and make a very, very tiny noise. It's up to you. But just try and make the out breath longer than the in breath. So big breath in and I quite like going up and down with my noises. For you, let's do it one more time. Deep breath in and did you notice that the last breath you could breathe out for longer than when you did the first breath? The more you practice it, the longer you'll be able to breathe out for. And it's really good to breathe out all the air in our lungs. We often breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and it can get us really excited if we breathe in a lot, but we forget to breathe out too much. So that if we can slow our breathing down and slow out our out breath, it makes us feel so much calmer. So try practicing that next time you're worried, breathing out for longer than you breathe in. Okay, so now we're going to come to the relaxation part of the session. So get yourself something comfortable to lie down on. Maybe you want a cushion or a blanket. Lie yourself down. It's great if you can lie down on your back with your palms facing the ceiling and close your eyes. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, it's okay. You don't have to. Get yourself nice and cozy. Are you ready? Okay, now I will begin. For today, we're going to imagine that we're a bird flying through the sky. We're going to imagine that we've grown the most beautiful, beautiful wings, big and large and long, and we can fly as high or as low as we like. And it's a beautiful summer's day. And the sky is clear and the sky is blue. And the sun is shining and it's lovely and warm. And we're all ready to explore the landscape. And so we soar up above our house, above where we live, so we can look down and see where we are, maybe lying in the room, but we are now a bird. And so we fly over the town and the city that we're in and go further. Maybe we can see the fields with fields of corn, and maybe we can see trees, And maybe we can see animals that are in the countryside, like cows and sheep and rabbits and foxes. Maybe we stop for a moment on the branch of a tall tree, looking over the world from our really high vantage point. What can you see? And then we take flight again. And as we fly and soar through the clouds, we see the sea. We see the coastline, the beaches. We see the cliffs. We see, as we soar, the sea and all the waves crashing on the shore. Maybe the sea is calm, or maybe it's rough. Maybe we see boats out at sea. What can you see on the ocean? And as you soar, you can feel the warm wind against your feathers. You have that great feeling of freedom, knowing that you can go anywhere you like. Any country, any town, any bit of countryside, wherever you want to go, you can go to. And so I'm going to leave you pretending to be a bird, soaring wherever you would like to go, flying through the landscape. Just imagine, just remember that you have this power of imagination within you. And any time you want to disappear and become a bird, you can go within yourself and fly as far as you like. But I'm going to leave you for 60 seconds to just imagine being a bird. Did you like being a bird flying through the sky? Take your time in getting up and sit yourself up. Bring your hands together at your heart center. We are going to say Namaste, which means thank you. Thank you for practicing yoga with me, and thank me for being here practicing yoga with you. And as I always like to say, the goodness in me sees the goodness in all of you. Until next time, bye-bye.